This is too much.
Dana tuni yavude nagamba nti testing kits tezimala.
Soma wano. Soma wano.
Katsoke tusome waneno.
Soma wano nkubuli.
A prominent businessman hired a consultant to reorganize his company, which was facing financial problems. The consultant found out that the businessman was overspending on luxuries instead of reinvesting the profits into the company. The consultant advised him to cut down on his expenditure, which he rejected, and the company collapsed. Why couldn't this man adjust his luxurious life? The answer was that, like Obi, he could not disengage from the Clara machine that he had become part of the puzzle of his life. This attitude is common in politics. This is one reason why governments lose power or be defeated in elections. Losing power means that the government embarked on a self-destruction mission. It did mistakes that were avoidable. A defeat means that voters wanted change. It does not depend on the performance of the government. Therefore, in many cases, leaders operate like Obi. They find themselves at a point of no return.
Hey.
Okay.
Abakulembeze besanga akazunga tebasobola kejjako.
Okay.
Singa wasoma nnolo ngati izi mwe nakijja. Ti omulenzi Obi yava bweru n'akwana Kirala. Kirala nga be bazaali be baani abali life. Naye nga bwe bamugamba nti omuwala akumala wa teyetajja mufumbiro. Yadda mukubba ssente mu gavumenti ne bamukwata. Kaka ne babuuza, why couldn't he disengage from the Kirala machine? Kirala had become part and parcel of his life. Era yababuuza bamugamba abawufobi abamuwera sente, why don't you pay us? But after struggling so much, you put me in a group where members greet each other. How does the car behave? Do they want me to say that my car is off the road because I failed to pay my insurance? Ye Obi. Kati n'abakulembeze beesanga nga bayina akakundi ke batasobola kwejjako. Kafuuka party and person ne bakalowooza tiko kayina kubeera appeased. Akakundi kano katuuka ekiseera kano akazu katta mukama waako. Kuba kakati batuuka ne realizinga nti abantu batutegedde. People are bitter. Yeah? There is no sensible woman who can strip herself naked before drunkard men. They rape her. Diana yeta chimanyi. Tamanyi nti abantu bali bitter ate mmwe mulinde. You wait when the schools resume open. Mugenda kulaba nti ebizimbe kuba there was no inspection of schools. There was no maintaining department. Mugenda kusanga ebizimbe nti bigenda kuwa they are fit for abaana.
Ebimbatanse birundi.
Yes, bagenda bimenya. Kakati mugenda kusanga mu kisiibo nabagamba nti mu kisiibo n'omusiramu atalina ssente zirya mmere mulowooza yasiibi naye nga yasangiddwa asiiba. Kakati abaana babadde tebasomanga n'abaavu batudde. What you are seeing in arcades where tenants are fighting landlords, it is going to be intensified. It is going to be multiplied 100 times by people going to school. Mbabulirira oyo omuwala yereege. Yes, Uganda is like a house. Gye baterekamu ebidomola by'amafuta tozunza kabiriiti yebajjagalira kwani mubbye ssente z'enzige mubbye amatete mwagawa abantu mubbye emmere mugitaddemu obutwa. What else do you want? Uganda, even if Ugandans are very tolerant, muwala gwe don't it is only a stupid woman who stripped herself naked before drunkard men.
Tamale kyogamba Diana kuba
eno situation tagimanyi
provoking abantu
kubanga ayina mulamu we naye bwati bwalowooza balina gurupu yaabwe erowooza mujja kudduka. The super guru that is holding this country is Museveni. He goes in the morning, in the evening, chaos.
Ogambye ba mafia bali munda mwenyini bwabanga
State House bakwa sente ne bakuwa okugula gundi ne bakuwa awulira ne bakuwa okugula masks n'oleta bunika bw'abaana abato. These are knickers for children. Bukwata matameni. You buy knickers instead of gold. Children knickers. Which one have you produced? Read the Chinese. Nakugamba, I've told you. To me, I predicted that the Chinese will handle this. and very predicted.
Tutandikira
When
wano,
I predict 10 things, I see 8. I will be Diana running away. I will see this city burning. Obujozi bubagweredde ddala mu mitwe gyammwe. If you are speaking, get good people, advisors. Such a girl should get an advisor, serious advisor. But these are not spokeable. You are sweeping naked before drunkard men. You girl. Read here.
Tamale wano ogamba nti, I have always urged that China has developed faster than India, which has a bigger number of its population educated. This can be further explained by the following. India is engaged in a cold war with Pakistan, which was which has forced it to invest more in defense in order to maintain a military edge over its rivals. Currently, both India and Pakistan are nuclear powers. Rampant and stinking corruption in India affects its development. China does not operate under elective democracy, whereas India is the largest democracy. Before a decision that affects many people is made in India, leaders must consider the election calendar first. India's unity has been undermined by sectarian interests and weak governments rising out of political alliances. On the other hand, China is under a dictatorship. Parliament in China with all its 4,000 MPs is just a rubber stamp, yet the Indian parliament is vibrant. China has managed to control riots and strikes that undermined implementation of unpopular government policies, which at times are beneficial to the country's development.
Nabaga nti kasita China tekkiriza bubbi eyatwala akawuka China yatuyamba nnyo. The Chinese are well organized. Kyolaba America kabase na wano. It is easier to control. Nkugambye nti my prediction at that time was babagamba nti akawuka kavudde China. Nimbaga nti yakatadde yakozesa experiment nkyamu. The Chinese are well organized. Era bakakwata dda. Yes. Naye gwe woyina ababbi abatakwatibwako nti ababbi n'olwaleero nina kugundi yange nakubya akatambi kaliko emitwalo egi nga boogera ababbi nga boogera nze what pains me among the mafia gang there is a professor. The president knows the professor because why does the professor will tell you what the president is planning. I heard him saying nti obutambi Mirundi bwaweereza mbuwuliramu naye omusajja kyatusonyiye busonyi ekitegeeza n'obutambi bwa president abusoma professor. But professor mugezi nnyo. If the president can call that professor ne boogera bambi, professor sees doom. Professor has a proper view about the impact of COVID-19 in this country. That professor. But I think he fears to tell the president the truth. Two, the professor also believes that unless Museveni handles the gang, which has failed to do, bali baganga members bajoze buli muntu kati yogera ku UTL bani abagirimu. You think uyo mwala yagirimu?
Hapana.
UTL Gaddafi mwe yagula sente baziwerezanga ebweru. Gaddafi yakula mu shares Libya baziwerezanga ebweru. Tetumanyi bagirimu, tetumanyi politics gundi. Bino byemuzanya ebya embassies. You think I don't know? Nti waliwo ekikampuni ekitunda embassies ekizimanejinga. Innocent gundi staff nze simanyi. You think simanyi lutalo lulimu gundi? Mukakanizi yatugamba mbu twaweereza sente China nga ziri more than what was wanted. Mukakanizi tera sente giwaziteeka.
Bagamba sente za Tamale.
You see what punishment did he give to somebody? Eyaweereza sente esinga obungi. Mukakanizi.
Ezali z'aba students
China. You tell that rubbish to the population. Umenya Abaganda bayina enkola yaabwe bakugamba mbwe ekizimba kyabulidde mu mubiri. Bw'oba obadde olyengege eggumba n'olimira. Oli safe oba toli safe?
Toba safe.
Kuba ligenda kufumita ebyenda byonna. You talk rubbish. You control the media, but people batula n'abamwe bennyini. And what is making us happy? The mafia gang is not tribalistic. Tebakulimbangako. The mafia gang is not tribalistic. Mafia gang fellowship is driven by their argue for money, insatiable argue for money. Kubanga, I can give you an examples. Look, Mugundi, Malaya, Baba $50 million. Uyo muchayina yaduse president yalagira bagende bakabere emiti gy'amasanyalaze ne wayaling ngenkuyegeza zire jinyinya gitinga amanyo g'abakadde katemye butemya akachayina ne kadduka president naga nti company zonna muzibula kalising omunene nakuba essimu mu internal affairs n'abagamba temubajja ku working permit kati you government ono aboggola n'ono aboggola. That's why I cannot be a minister in this government. Kakati nkugamba
Tamale sokolabe oyambala yero kakofira ka yere sate yere tali ya yero lwachi toyamba ko President Museveni
okwagamba
okwogera ngiri jogera mu kiraga nti ba mafias at one point in time basobola kuwa
baweddeyo nabagamba nze nali njogerera Kawempe nembagamba nti kasite messe erume kanzu ya nanyinimu tesula mu nyumba kuba abaganda babiranga ne kanzu emu yegenda kubuko yegenda wa kati ajijjeyo ng'emmese yagiruma agigulira Dyson mbabazi yafuluma nabaga nti emmese bweruma obugoye bw'abaana nanyini maka agamba buli empuuta ne butanaaba naye kasiteekwata ku kanzu ya nanyinimu bajja gigulira Dyson I predicted mbabazi nabaga nti mu nyumba mulimu emmese naye emmese etigomeza obugoye bw'abaana naye etigomya buli kintu kyonna naye kati tugiwonye kasiteera muzizza ku kanzu ya nanyinimu goloza abaganda bayimba baga nanyini mwatamidde tokwata ku mmere ye nanyini mwatamidde tokwata ku mmere ye omwekyo babategeeza ndikoyinza okulaba omusajja nga atamidde n'olebera n'eddiiro mu mukazi we nti asigadde mu ddiiro ne mukazi we kino kitamidde omuganda ga nanyini mwatamidde tokwata ku mmere ye nanyini mwatamidde tokwata ku mmere ye ebitabivu ebiyimba mu bbaala bitegeera nti ono ayagala nakwana muko omusajja ono amugulira omwenge kubanga bbaawo akoze eki kati liri ettamivu mu kumuwooninga kyeziva liyimba nanyini mwatamidde tukwata ku mmere ye nanyini mwatamidde tukwata teri nanyini mwakwatirwa ku mmere ye kati bano ba mafia kasaba mu bye 50 million ne babba radio zino kano akawumba tutu akafekete ne kagamba mu radio zazze ate amasomero gaddamu kati ate bagulira ki radio endala kati ekyo kitegeeza options zaabwe zigenze ziggwawo the moment they threaten Museveni survival Museveni cannot retire when this mafia gang is still strong two options endala bagenze wa Bobi Wine nakuba jakatambi ku Saturday nga mwenda ababuuza mwami mwenda ndi mungu aba mu fellowship wani atakolagana na Bobi Wine kakati that is a very big mistake
by the way
Bobi Wine temumanyi bamuvuga anybody who takes power after Museveni will know that Museveni is running this country as the way, in a modern way policies zezo kakati Bobi Wine after 5 years nga olina kwata power abantu bajja muwamba Museveni yali mugezi nnyo bwe yakwata power yagiddiza abantu ne beerondera kuva wansi n'abasasifaayo kati bino ebiremi byammwe si abalondera parliament si akolaki bamafiya balina lisiti y'aba MPs be bagenda okusasulira okuwa ssente oba beeno oba si beeno. That's why nti I said Tango Odoyi, don't shout at us. Tango Odoyi, you have exposed yourself, resign. Ono namuganza bamugana okwogera ne baleeta Kadaga. Why should Kadaga? Why should the monitor give Kadaga a headline? Why? Because Kadaga doesn't know that the mafia is using her now. They want Kadaga to legitimize the elections. It is not their interest now. Okukiza namuganza ayogere kati ate ye Tana ye yakuteewa bi Tana agamba gundi oyo Tango Odoyi, don't shout at us. Tango Odoyi will respect his head and design. Why? Yalemeddwa okufumbira abagenyi abatono agenda anasobola okufumba emmere. Tana amugamba the votes are more than the delegates. Bamusibye ejjiribwa kati kyobalaba Tana the mafia controlled media temuwa kwogera. The mafia controlled media tewa namuganza kwogera. You have not seen a story about namuganza. Why? A mafia-controlled media tell Tana publicity. Why? Because Tana exposes Otango Doi. Tango Doi, didn't you know the number about scientific? Tana says with evidence that there are more votes than the delegates. Take responsibility and resign. Olemereddwa okufumbirwa abagenyi bana tukukwasa tutya okufumbira essomero Tango Otoyi. Yes, but the mafias don't see why are they doing this. They are doing this because they have a certain people they want to be on the executive who can top of Museveni.
Tamale Mirundi ba mafias bano olowooza bye bakola byonoona erinnya lya mukulembeze w'eggwanga ekirowooza tekyongera
nze mbasinza amaanyi ankugambye nti Bobi Wine is suicidal buli abakulembeze bakigezezaako nti let Paulo Muwanga remove Obote tuteese n'abayeekera ba Museveni tusharinge power. Muwanga had succeeded. By the time Museveni came, it was only NRA that rejected the peace talks. Fedemu yalimu, Bokero nga bakoze kansani, Semogere mwali, olo Bidandi mwali, olo ne Kutesa yalimu. Kutesa was the Attorney General of Okero. Because they wanted to isolate Museveni as a homemonger. Museveni refused eja n'abakuba n'abajjako. Bali mu power, ekya Muwanga ne kigaana. Look what Zambia. Chiruba yalowooza kandeete Patrick Mwanawasa. He will die in 2 years. The doctors have predicted that he will die in 2 years. Mwanawasa died after 7 years. Why? He propelled him into the presidency and he got money to treat himself. The 2 years period had been based on his resources as a lawyer in Zambia. Teyakwata Chiruba n'amusiba. What about this man in Angola? Dos Santos. Eyakuba Unita n'agijjawo. Eyakuba Savimbi n'amusika mu Shalogrevu. Is he the man on the run? Gwolowooza teyalowooza didn't he consider nti successor we ajja kuba ono? Within a very short time nabagamba politics, money, marriage change people's attitudes. Omwenge tegwonoona muntu. In fact, when you see your enemy resorting to beer, put up your hands, thank God, he's going to waste himself. He will die. Naye kasitola bw'omuntu afumbiddwa n'afuna ssente. Ask these women. Bw'oba weeyazikanga olugoye lw'omuntu ne bafuna ssente tadda. Tayagala na history eyo nti weeyazikako olugoye ewaffe. That's why Museveni does not believe in political assassinations. Museveni just hands you a political rope and you hang yourself. Otherwise, Machiveri agamba nti a prince to rule comfortably must eliminate all of those who are reported. Kakati eno venture gye bakola mu Bobi Wine ne bakugirayo bano ba musajja gundi ne bakugirayo bako nabagamba nti Bobi Wine alinga omukazi ayina akabina akanene ne bw'omubbako ekikooyi you are not affecting a habam. Kakati kankubuuza, what's the value of this money to NRM? What's the value of full figure to NRM? What value addition did these people get? Because NRM does not need to abuse people. NRM is in the government. What you need to do is to have a media team that can analyze the policies of government and defend them. The way you do it. Nti kakati tudate mu NRM. The issue is, do you expect me, an intelligent man, who is not a Mulusula, who is not a fool, that the son of Yohana Mirundi can defend these radio stations when the documents are here, when I have the documents? Do you believe I can defend COVID? Your stupid suggestions on COVID. COVID needs one thing. Because the president is like a medical doctor who is treating a patient. If the president knows that the drugs he applied on combating the disease have done well, let him maintain the status quo. If he knows tonight that the drugs have not worked on the patient, let him change the doctor and the drug. In mass communication, a source matters, the credibility of a source. If you maintain Diana in that job with the utterances she's making, nobody will listen to her vomit. What you need to do, evaluate, because COVID-19 is here to stay. I'm watching the Chinese. The Chinese say schools are reopening, but under strict
measures.
Do you believe?
COVID-19 iranga tusubira maybe Uganda kuchi amasomero wamu n'amasinzizo ate wamu n'ebifo ebichakalwamu
anti kakati ye contradiction
Tamale Mirundi ensonga ya embassy mu Denmark.
If we have alarming numbers, rising numbers over COVID, can you think of opening churches?
Oloza chechi geno va mu meeting.
Kugamba they talk contradictory. The moment you say that we are opening, unless you put in because COVID-19 is here to stay. Do you believe until Trump does not have the influence and the money to order the American scientists to produce a vaccine? Because COVID is losing the battle over COVID, the way he handled the COVID. So for Abaganda batugamba nti wenziyukira sematimba n'ekikwabanga. Bwenziyukira sematimba n'ekikwabanga abali abaziranga lawa abali adda leero nga nze lulireka waneerire n'enywere nabulagala. Omuganda akugamba when I remember sematimba and chikwabanga, the bravest men at the time, they are dead. What about me? So if the American president has failed to force the scientists to pump money to produce a vaccine, it means the vaccine is nowhere. If the British abagezi ababadde mu nsi yonna abasajja batwala ebizungirizi ku mwezi aba America eddagala libabuze, what about if Chikwabanga can fail to fight? What about Sematimba and Chikwabanga abali abazira, the bravest of the time, have failed to face the enemy? Then what about me? That's what Muganda says in his song. Bwenziyukira Sematimba n'ekikwabanga
mu Russia omungereza balemeddwa ate gwe
ekitegeeza kakati gwe president kyalina okukkiriza ayongera ababbi be balye era nakibupulitikiti nga wano nabagamba kana katabana kawandika nakatuma the COVID mafias. COVID mafias nabagamba nti abasajja bano era balina okubbako balina okubbako nakugamba kasome wano okubere ne date ndi atawandika ndi mbere wansi wa Dombo atawandikanga na kudambi ebyo mulimba
Tamale Mirundi
analoga nti Mirundi kanoti wakanda Dombo kanoti wakanda Nabakoba kanoti waka anda gundi nankabirwa ayiwaka alone.
Tamale Mirundi agamba nti the mafias in Uganda who take advantage of every calamity to enrich themselves saw coronavirus outbreak as an opportunity to steal money. When President Museveni introduced tough measures, the mafias were not threatened. Borders remained open as well as Entebbe International Airport. The president allowed people to enter the country on condition that they would be quarantined for 14 days but pay for the cost of accommodation and feeding during this period. This became attractive to the mafia gang, who knew they would influence the authorities to take travelers into their hotels. The mafias looked at isolation quarantine as source of income, and their simple calculation was $1,400 per every traveler in just 14 days. Secondly, they used their influence and their wide network to get relatives and friends out of isolation centers, more like the cannibals at my village who fed on Mulinywa's body and developed the deadly Euro. The mafias underestimated the virus. They didn't know that by allowing their relatives to violate quarantine, they were taking the coronavirus into their homes. This was not the usual case from which they used to steal billions of money the way they did during the locust invasion. They were inviting death to their homes.
Yes. This is a nice chance of stealing money. When you look at these people, Enzige, they announced the arrival of Enzige when no single insect was resident in the country. Ngabeyambisa foreign photographs. The billions were released to them. When the Enzige actually came, they had no money. ne batugamba balina n'ennyonyi bagisasudde millions of dollars. Do you know how much money? $3 million until the president was fed up. N'agamba amagye UPDF. That's why UPDF gwe gyobuuze singa bakugamba nti abapoliisi baserengese emmanga eyo ne bagamba nti ne local defense eserengese ekutte lino n'amagye gakutte lino olagawa Uganda ni alagawa. This is the first time when Ugandans prefer the army to the other security forces. Why? Their commitment. Nti enzige has been locusts toka nti enzige tezikyajja nennaku ezo baziraba nti they are on their way. Yes, Kenya bakwata ba scout. In Uganda the general who has defeated the enzige without the $3 million is General Kavuma. Has never found a paragraph in any of our newspapers.
Tamale Mirundi.
Kakati betutuuka ku gundi. Wait. Betutuuka ku COVID. They asked for the money. Yebasiba wa emmere bichi atemba sasa. President yabawa 59 billion okuva mu State House. Bwe batuuka Entebbe ne befufulya bannabwe bakuwatudde. Nibe basiba. Abanyampi because to work with them you must either be omunyampi. Omunyampi is somebody who takes the responsibility. We derive it from our culture. Kings, the feudalistic kings, bweyafuuwanga nga balina kwa Ssaabasajja nze nkikoze ye Kamuswaga yayina baseegu. Kamuswaga ono wekkoki had a group of younger men who could shout obscenities to him during nga bagenyi abandi naye nga bw'owemula n'atasika they kill you straight. You shout an obscenity what if it does not attract laughter from Kamuswaga you are dead. Kakati abanyampi the kuwatudde is abanyampi. The real people who swallow the manna comfortably looking after their house in their farms. Now ne baddira amata abaana abayonka n'abaki mujja kufuna amata. Where is the milk? Maybe bagigatta mu mpewo abakazi basanzise but there was no milk. Billions were taken. Kakati bwe bategeera nti ate kati we are having obulwadde buzze airport muzeyi n'agiggala naye there was no single sanitizer one. Genda obuze Entebbe airport nti sente mugula bagula president sanitizing gundi companies bagula bazigula government egula. What's the component, the percentage of Ministry of Health money as far as good mu kibuga mwali baddemu ne mu bitanka ebinene ng'ebibeera ku mizikiti gy'abasiraamu strategic places sanitized water lwembuulira. Two, ekisaawe ky'Entebbe Kabasa agenda okugendayo nga balina bidomola bye bafuka naye nga million 10 bagibye eza sanitizer. They stole 100 million intended for at Entebbe International Airport nga aliwo bidomola bwe biti ne bajjayo abaana baabwe ne babaleeta. Nnaku ezo waliwo eyaneereegako okuva ku NBS yali abbye 5 billion wooteri ye temwasula bantu aneereegako eno agikwate kalabye nkuyingiza kabuli mu nnaku 3 yukaboy mujogajoga nnyo abantu we are tough now. Obbye 5 billion why don't you mbutanjogera ku gwani nali nditekebwa mu emmere. Why do you control my head? 5 billion basasudde amakampuni gaabwe agataliiko. What amazed me omukyala yava mu America ne bamutwala ekkololo eyo mu isolation center babbireyo sente. Kakati ayagala kwesimbawo mu Western Uganda omusajja n'amulaga emmotoka yange Land Cruiser nti agitunda nagaye ye emmotoka gyenjagala waffe tumaintaininga emmotoka ebenyirira nimuga njagibaguza ye nze neneekweka mmanyiddwa. Omukazi yava mu isolation center najja alamuze emmotoka nabaga I've been given only 3 hours to go back kati eyo karantini. Why are you saying yes? The Baganda have an Abusini proverb but I will make a rap it correctly. The Baganda tell you that if you are cleaning a patient and you arrive at the lower buttocks and you feel a stench, tolerate it because this is the exit pipe of a human being. Nti to ate onogaano otya byekivaayo ate badde osubirayo ki kakati if akawuka mwakazanyiramu these figures because of Museveni's involvement and the international media nti twategeera Queen bamukwese ne tutegeera gundi bamukamufunye ne tutegeera White House bajigadde. This is how
Tamale Mirundi President Museveni agenda meeting task force jogamba ati Judemba mafia olunaku olwale tusuubire ki
this is my opinion
olowooza President Museveni bimutuukako bate bimutuukako
monitor one of the control the mafia outpiece bakugambye. I raised the question. The president was clear. Donated to me vehicles kuba badde motoka za government bazitwala mu byalo.
Tamale motoka zitawo
anti kyenkubuulira bwe malo zoogerako give us a single photograph where one of the vehicles was donated to a local hospital. Hakuna. Badde akafaananyi abasajja amawulire mugawere ngenda gutuumira eggulire liri kuba ekyobusirwa ekyatetusoma. This is how me who has a legislatorship one who me ntambuze I'm the only person in Uganda president akanti abantu bebabakuba basupporters benale mbabakuba njagala ntambuze ebigere ekibuga kyonna olabe enduulu bwe zivuga. First of all abamu bagenda ne bagamba mbwakolagana nabo kyovola bati bamukuba opposition. No, they now committed never nti akasajja ka Museveni bakimanyi. I'm a committed man. Even the president knows nakabiro yagenda yijo mbu anvuma atulemeseze emirimu. Ate how can me fail you on your job? It means I'm more powerful than you. Nakabirwa against ejo simanyi. When did you stop reporting Museveni to me? Kati nakabirwa yalowooza nze atayina mulimu mu government to control me as who?
Tamale Mirundi.
The president can invite me as a friend. Sina mulimu mu government. I don't have a government job.
Tamale buchangwe kwa mafia. Tetulabangayo action hiyo na kitegeeza ebigambo byogera tebituuka General Museveni. Nerero bagenda okumitinga butaba mafia.
Nkugambye is not Museveni to judge. Doctor asobola okujja. I have two medical doctors. Asobola okujja nakugamba nti omulwadde wammwe ajja kuba bulungi. Dokita bw'afuluma taata wammwe n'abaga nti muleete muliraanwa nkole ddaami, which means the patient knows his health more than the medical doctor. Today is not the question of Museveni praising the National Task Force. It is Ugandans, and we have an election here. Museveni is fortunate. These issues, what I say, would have been raised by a vibrant opposition. I've told you, if the opposition leaders are in the armpit of the mafia gang. But today, me as a scientist, a political scientist, I know. Let them jump on Bobby Wine. To jump on Bobby Wine means they are losing the options. Kati oyo omuwala byayogera first of all kankubuli kati omuwala byayogera obimanyi
dana twine
bayina amasomero gaabwe that will apply to schools before your kid comes
bakusaba abiri mwena
naye mubye gwanga Diana mubye gwanga
wewawo
the nation needs if you think that Ugandan is a fool we shall see.
For now let's take a break and we'll be right back.